This bowl belonged to my grandfather. I'm Jonathan, Ten Hanming. I grew up in Los Angeles, and like many second-generation kids, I went through my life focused on everything except my heritage. That changes today. My grandfather was Chen Tso-Tao. He was born in Jiangsu in 1925. He flew for the Air Force for 30 years. When he retired in 1978, he turned his full attention to ceramics and spent the next 4 decades attempting something experts said was impossible. Ceramic experts and scholars on both sides of the Taiwan Strait formally recognized him as having created 9 new kiln transformation glazes at national treasure level. His works were loaned to the National Palace Museum in Taipei for exhibitions. A PhD chemist from Case Western Reserve University formally reviewed and endorsed his technical breakthroughs. The president of the Jingdezhen Ceramic Institute, the most prestigious ceramic institution in China, wrote his biography. Friends in the ceramic world called him 2 things: master of furnace mutation and ceramic god. Over 50 years, he developed an entire world of glazes. Emerald glazes, peach bloom glazes, fire with water glazes, iron reds, and dozens of original Tenmoku innovations that never existed before. Each one documented, named, and impossible to replicate. This channel will eventually cover all of them, but we start here. He never took apprentices before he passed away. He never formally passed down his knowledge to anyone. This channel is my attempt to change that. This piece was made in 1997 in my grandfather's California studio. Passed to my father, and passed to me a few years ago. This is just one of many. He has over 1,000 pieces in Taiwan still. This specific piece is called the窯变天目釉碗, a kiln-transformation Tenmoku glazed bowl. The form comes from Song Dynasty Genware, roughly 1,000 years ago. The dark conical bowl with the narrow foot rim was refined over generations as one of the most celebrated ceramic forms in Chinese history. Japanese Buddhist monks encountered these bowls at Tianmu Mountain in Zhejiang, brought them back to Japan, and the name Tenmoku stayed ever since. But what makes this piece remarkable isn't the form, it's the glaze. What you're looking at is called the窯变, kiln transformation. These colors, this turquoise, this deep crimson, this black, they aren't painted on. They emerge from copper oxide reacting under reduction firing conditions, where oxygen is deliberately restricted inside the kiln. Slight changes in temperature, atmosphere, or even where the piece sits produces completely different results. No 2 pieces ever come out identical. For 1,000 years, people attempted to replicate Song Dynasty Tenmoku bowls. My grandfather spent decades researching. Was told by fellow ceramic masters that what he was attempting was impossible. But he kept going anyways. In 1996, he published dozens of new kiln transformation Tenmoku glaze innovations simultaneously. I believe this piece is one of his彩玉天目, colorful jade Tenmoku variants. But I'm still learning. And that process of learning is what this channel is trying to document. On the foot rim is his seal, his mark. Learning to read and authenticate everything it tells us about each piece is part of the work ahead. He left behind 3 published books documenting his innovations, a private archive of handwritten notes that remain with the family, and more than 1,000 pieces in Taiwan that have never been properly introduced to the Western world. I'm not an expert, not yet, but I am his grandson, and this is where it begins. This is piece 1. 1,000 more awaiting.